Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
Welcome to this episode of Street Soldiers on Vybz Kartel, his freedom and his future. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. The man known as the king of dancehall music is finally a free man after surviving 13 years behind bars. Now that he has his freedom, what's ahead in his future? Music superstars including Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and even Drake hailed the July 31st release of entertainer Vybz Kartel from the Tower Street prison in Kingston, Jamaica.
Everything is going according to plan. And I mean, life is good.
Kartel was incarcerated in 2011 on a murder charge that was never proven and ultimately thrown out. Freedom came only after long and bruising legal battles waged by his attorney, Isat Buchanon. While Kartel was quietly fighting for his physical survival, Buchanan fended off attempts to blacklist him and even get him disbarred. No matter how bleak it looked, Buchanan and Kartel relied on their faith and never wavered from their mantra, God and time.
What kept me going is I knew that the conviction was unsafe. I knew that this was something I think I was ordained to do. I believe in God. I told him it's God and time. Believe in God and it's just a matter of time. And I just kept anchored in that.
The years of imprisonment seemed to have no effect on Kartel's sense of timing. Less than 24 hours after being freed, he released a 12-track mixtape EP called First Week Out that is making its way up the charts. It seemed to many that nothing could slow him down.
Yes, it is in the high gear, Lisa. But like I said, for now, it's just family and fitness. Because remember, 13 years in prison taught me that the music isn't going anywhere. It will be right there when I'm ready. So for now, I'm just getting fit, spending time with my family and my fiance, So that's the 3 Fs: fitness, family, fiance.
Kartel appeared triumphant as he came out of the prison, but in fact, underneath the bandanas to conceal the swelling from Graves' disease and his smile, he was suffering from debilitating heart disease and only had 37% of normal heart function. He's currently under medical care and tells me he is being prescribed a specific diet, exercise routine, and medications to reverse the 2 serious health conditions. Shakira Mitchell, co-host of JA Radio TV, says if anything, the time behind bars made Kartel even more influential with his huge international following.
We need to give him some space just to reconnect, to get that breathing room, just to be out of jail. And I say, outside of that, they're waiting for him to lead. They're waiting for him to say, this is what we're doing.
Top international dancehall and reggae music DJ Robbo Ranks from London has no doubt Kartel will reinvent himself in this new phase of his life.
He is a modern-day superhero for the music and the culture. Where next, we don't know, but judging by what he's done for well over 20 years, for 2 decades, I think there is another Mr. Palmer, another Vybz Kartel.
Let's get right to our panel of insiders and get their take. Joining us from London is Robbo Ranks. He's a DJ and broadcaster. Robbo, thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Shakira Mitchell. She is one of the co-hosts, a talk show host with JA Radio TV out of Toronto. Shakira, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Isat Buchanan. He's the attorney for Vybz Kartel. He's also a criminal defense and human rights attorney. He is the one that brought that case right to the Privy Council and the Jamaica Court of Appeal that earned Kartel his freedom. Mr. Buchanan, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. First of all, is Vybz Kartel finally free, meaning no more legal issues?
He's completely free. As we're talking now, I just got his passports, all his clogs and fetters are cleared. He's a free man in every sense of the word.
So they cannot retry this case or anything related to this case. Is that right?
That's correct. Double jeopardy is attached. Doesn't matter what anybody think. The case is over, including people's thoughts, ideas, comments. It matters. It has no effect in law. whatever anybody thinks. Yes.
All right, we're going to find out how you did it, how you managed to do that after so many years. Rabo Ranks, you're based in London, and thank you for joining us. You're also heard in Africa, all around the world. Rabo Ranks Radio. Tell us why Vybz Kartel. Why do so many people care about him? What's happening to him, and are greeting this news? I think in a lot of ways beyond what a normal entertainment personality would receive.
I think in terms of a normal entertainer, he is a very normal entertainer, but an extremely popular normal. And it's been not just for 5 years or 5 minutes, it's been for nearly 2 decades. He's been a hit maker since like the early 2000s. And here we are in 2024. He still has some of the most popular songs on radio, clubs, you know, sound system, dub plates. His length and his career has definitely tipped him over the edge. Not only that, you got to imagine Vybz Kartel at the heat of his career was when we, as like DJs and people that's involved in radio, we crossed from an analog to a digital world. And he was one of the first artists to see where music was going. He knew that the first thing I got to do is hit the mobile phones. Kartel caught that wave where every kid in like from Nairobi to Ghana, they were all engaging in music through mobile phones. It's very hard to place Kartel's position with any other artist because he was the first to do it in that digital wave.
Wow, a trailblazer in that sense. That's so interesting. Shakira, what was the reaction? July 31st, people see him walk out of the Tower Street Adult Correctional Facility. And it was a day that a lot of people didn't think, let's be honest, they didn't think that this would come. So what was the reaction that you got?
I mean, I was here at work and the internet just broke. The internet broke. There was widespread euphoria. I know there was some doubt because even for myself, you know, there were other media houses that posted previously, oh, he was free. And then you heard, no, he's not free as yet. So I know some people were a bit skeptic. And even when I heard the news, I was like, I don't believe that. I need to see it for myself. But then when I saw that he was actually free, it was a bit surreal, honestly. And 13 years is a long time. And I think he deserved to be home with his family. I think it was not just for music. I think it was symbolic just to know that the system worked.
Stay with us. There's more to come. Bravo, in terms of the music, you just had an experience at some of the festivals that you've been going to during the summer. Tell us about what people were saying to you.
Well, we've just had a wave of shows now that's hitting the UK. So I'm walking through the crowd. I was at a show, there's 36,000 people. Every 20 yards I walk, people are asking me, I mean, Shabba and Popcorn are on stage and people are saying, he's got to be here next year, right? He's got to be here next year. And I'm like, possibly, but the interest for Vybz Kartel to perform live has been a live issue from the last time he performed. I mean, I was around him when he last performed in the UK, and it was always sold out shows. Vybz Kartel, you're going to need a football stadium.
Shakira, what about him as an artist and what he represents, particularly to the Jamaican and Caribbean community around the world?
I can definitely say he's not just an artist right now. Like, he's now become a movement. He is now an inspiration to so many other artists out there. And as Robert just mentioned, I don't think there's a venue large enough in Jamaica for this show. And I'm looking forward to when that comes up. But I do think he needs to focus on his health first. But he set the trend for most of these artists that we're seeing now. And Wiz and I was just having this conversation the other day where we were talking about the fact that all of these young artists that we're seeing right now all have a piece of Vybz Kartel. Like, he is dancehall, right? All of the trends, all of the slangs, a lot of these beats that you're hearing, the topics that they're using in music now, they all came from Vybz Kartel.
But Mr. Buchanan, I want you to, Isat, please explain to us what this appeal was, because there was a lot of confusion about, did they just let him did they just let him out because his health is not the best and he's facing some very serious health challenges right now? A lot of us thought the Privy Council, well, they squashed it, or they quashed it. Why isn't he free then? Explain that for us, please.
The justice system in Jamaica has given recognition more than anything to the Constitution. One would say, oh, well, the Privy Council, which is our apex court, they threw the book. What they did was give respect to the Jamaican court. We are a sovereign nation, and that's simply what it was. Our court then reviewed the matter, understood the constitutional breaches, understood the effect of how important it was that fairness in all trial proceedings. That's the significance of the judgment. It's not about Vybz Kartel and his co-defendants. There are persons who will never have the pocket to fight the justice system, like Mr. Palmer, who is now given protection by the justice system in recognition of fixing a lot of gaps and loopholes in the justice system. And that's what happened. The evidence, prosecution admit they didn't know where the evidence was. Witnesses are no longer available. A key defense witness for the defense, he is now deceased. May his soul rest in peace. But without him, single-handedly, there could not have been a trial.
Just to emphasize, the courts cannot do anything now. He's a completely free man. You said he's getting his passport. He'll be able to travel, I presume, once his health permits.
Yes. That's correct. And I just want to say you can't do anything because Section 69 of the Jamaica Constitution says, listen, double jeopardy is attached. Tough luck for you. And they're protected by the Constitution.
Shakira, you got literally, it could be the $1 million question. Go ahead.
Yes. So the multi-million-dollar question, actually, to Mr. Buchanan. Will your client be claiming any damages, compensation for, being wrongfully incarcerated among his co-accused? Well, not anymore.
Here's a starting point, because I too live in Jamaica. Mr. Palmer is a national treasure. I don't think he wants to bankrupt the country. Certainly what I think he needs to do is to focus on his health. And I have said, just like my faith that he would have been free, I have full confidence that as a national treasure, he's going to he's invaluable to Jamaica, the economy, and he will make way more than one could ever imagine.
Isat, did the Privy Council order your court costs? Because this was a multi-year legal battle across continent.
We were awarded costs. It's a hefty sum. An idea of what that looks like, the UK attorneys for the Crown, certainly their fee was very high in terms of pounds. And so when you start to multiply that with the 16 attorneys that were on the defense team collectively, it's a hefty sum, including travel and everything. It's just a lot. And so we're dealing with that as we speak.
Robert, what about the audience, the listeners, the fans? Have they changed in the last 13 years?
No, not really. I think, the last ability of Vybz Kartel is one of the most significant reasons why we're still talking about him. Yes, the court case has played some significance where, people want to see justice for their favorite artist, and it's kept this flame going. But as you know, there was music being the last 13 years, hit records, crazy hit records, like gold disc records that was served to the public. I was just looking at a screenshot somebody sent me, a good friend of mine who runs a streaming company, and he was very interested in the catalog and the music of Vybz Kartel a few months ago. And he showed me a screenshot of from the 7th of July to where it is from August 3rd, that his streaming numbers has doubled in millions.
Doubled in millions in 1 month.
From the less than a month, from the 27th to the 3rd of August, 27th of July.
So 1 week, that's in 1 week.
That's 1 week.
Wow.
That's good music numbers.
Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Buchanan, we're looking forward, but also looking back. He's the king of dancehall, but there was certainly not royal treatment in those prisons. And that's something that has concerned you. I was shocked. Everybody at Fox 5 was shocked he was sick. There was a bucket for a toilet. There was no bathroom available. It was just people were shocked by that. The human rights aspect of this case, did that play a role in you being so driven to see it through to its end?
It played a significant role. I've been advocating for years. I spoke to you about it. I made an alarm. It became a reality. And yes, they gave Mr. Palmer a huge toilet, and they made adjustments to Mr. Palmer. And should we clap for that? I don't think so, because there are other persons, other people's children that do not have the benefit of being in humane conditions. Even if you commit a crime, you don't forfeit being a human.
Him being released and having endured a situation that a lot of people probably would not be able to endure, does this change the way the fans will look at him now?
I'm positive that he's seen now as some form of superhero, because even when he was locked up, I mean, mentally he wasn't. Every time when you heard him, and thanks to you for that interview, he didn't even sound like someone who was incarcerated.
No.
He always sounded upbeat and positive. And the fact that he was still able to work. I know a lot of people who, if they went into prison, and not to compare, I know for a fact when they go into prison, you know, you don't really hear them continue the craft, right? He fought for that.
I'm going to address or correct the record. Any inmate, and I can speak from experience, that says to you they're fine mentally with being in prison, that's the one fallacy, or that's the one lie that we tell ourselves, or you will tell yourself. So I will not allow anybody to underscore the turmoil and the post-traumatic prison disorder that he will go through and has to cope with through a therapist where that is concerned. What I will say is I'll adopt Shakira that says he's no quoting Skillibeng, no regular degular. There is no replica. He's one of a kind, and he endured it because he believed in himself.
Robbo, in terms of the future, the concert requests, the tour, the just the energy that's around this right now, have you ever seen anything like it?
No, I mean, the last time I witnessed this much speculation on, you know, not even like, how's his health, or is he putting out music? It's like, when we're gonna see him? Was obviously Buju Banton. Buju Banton 2019 was like euphoric. This moment again would be euphoric. The questions I get now is, will it happen? Where will it happen first? I would suspect that Vybz Kartel will not perform firstly in Jamaica. Now, don't crush me over it, but I just think that it would be something that everybody around the world, all corners of the world, and I just think that it would probably be a place that can hold and host a show of its magnitude.
I saw. What about the requests? You said some requests have come in. Can you give us any idea about these requests for Mr. Palmer, for AKA Vybz Kartel?
I can tell you the requests overwhelming. He is focused on his health. What I can say is that everybody will get the opportunity to see Vybz, and he's not leaving out anybody. In terms of the future, here's what I want to stress. The man that was in prison and the man that is free, two different persons. His ability to put social commentary into music, put it into words, is what I'm looking forward to. Because if whatever freedom feels like and looks like, I haven't heard it yet on a record. So I'm looking forward to lyrically hear it from him.
Can you imagine the mix of music he could add to that? I mean, every genre will get touch. It doesn't matter what sound, Afrobeat sound. I could see him even going back into mental. I can see him do reggae. I can see him do trap. Every sound, hip hop, everything's going to get touched because he's that skillful. And we will see that. We'll see that.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on Vybz Kartel's Freedom and Future. You can share it and watch it again on our Fox 5 NY local app and Fox 5 NY YouTube page. Remember, use your mind as your best weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace, love, and justice for all.